Welcome to the sixth episode of our acclaimed podcast series, Expert Solutions, brought to you by FinGig.Pro. I am Aalok Bhan, co founder and chief marketing officer at FinGig.Pro, which is a premier business firm dedicated to building a global practice and ecosystem for fractional CXOs, along with a strong focus on the BFSI industry. Today, we are delving into a topic that is not only at the forefront of the fintech revolution, but also one that is particularly close to my heart: WealthTech and InsureTech. To provide invaluable insights, we have the privilege of speaking with a distinguished veteran in the field, Banesh Prabhu. Welcome, Banesh.
Right.
Banesh Prabhu is a seasoned leader in the fintech and financial services industry, currently serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Intellect AI, a business unit with Intellect Design Arena. Under his leadership, Intellect AI is pioneering AI driven transformations across the domains of insurance, wealth, and capital markets, delivering innovative solutions to clients across the US, Europe, and Asia. A forward thinking visionary, Banesh challenges conventional perspectives in wealth management, focuses on future ready solutions rather than legacy models. He is dedicated to leveraging AI and advanced digital technologies to revolutionize operations, enhance customer experiences, and deliver large scale transformation across enterprises. With over 38 years of global experience, Banesh has significantly shaped the financial services landscape. His tenure includes 23 years at Citibank, where he managed operations and technology for clients across 55 plus international markets, establishing multiple global centers of experience for operations and technology, spearheading the digitization of operations and risk management worldwide, serving as a key member of Citigroup's Global Consumer Planning Group, Global Information Technology Council, and Global Operations Council, holding leadership positions including head of technology and operations group at the Siam Commercial Bank, a leading universal banking group in Thailand, collaborating with Boston Consulting Group as a senior advisor, and actively investing in fintech innovations, particularly in the UK financial sector. That's a huge, and it's only some part of what Banesh has done. But let's come talk about Intellect AI. Intellect AI, the wealth tech and insurtech business unit of Intellect Design Arena, is at the forefront of AI driven financial services innovations. The firm offers a suite of purpose built AI solutions that are contextual, composable, and cloud native, with deep risk and portfolio insights derived from structured and unstructured data sources. Intellect AI ensures precision driven outcomes that enhance decision making for financial institutions. Through API led fintech solutions, Intellect AI combines deep industry expertise with cutting edge technology, delivering sophisticated yet intuitive solutions. The offerings empower financial organizations to stay ahead in a rapidly evolving financial landscape by accelerating digital transformation, optimizing operations, and enhancing customer experience. So basically, it's a whole lot of stuff that Banesh manages in his current role. So, Banesh, we are eager to hear your thoughts on some of the most pressing topics in wealth tech and insurtech, and of course, AI. As I see behind your screen, everything is about .ai as we talk about future. So, my first question, Banesh, to really hear from you: the wealth management industry is undergoing rapid transformation due to changing client operations, evolving regulations, and digital disruption. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges wealth managers face today? And how is AI redefining the way firms operate? Over to you, Banesh.
Thanks, Alok. Thanks. That was a long introduction. uh, Happy to sort of have a nice interactive discussion over the next, 30 to 40 minutes. Now, we all know that the wealth management industry is rapidly expanding. Phenomenal amount of wealth is being created all over the world, and this wealth is coming along with a multi-segment growth, whether it's in asset managers, wealth managers, banks, or even family offices. I think this growth in different geographies around the world continues to be having challenges to ensure that people fulfill the compliance and regulatory guidelines that they need to deliver a fundamentally solution to end customers in a secure way and also in a compliant way. And there's a lot of regulations around the world that helping the end customer. In the UK, we have consumer duty. In several other countries, we have different similar rules that help people to manage wealth more efficiently. On the flip side, we are seeing a significant shortage of well certified and trained financial advisors. So, from a business perspective, there is a need to tap different segments and also have the right technology to deliver that. Now, Intellect has been there for several decades and has some very deep relationship with pretty much all the major financial institutions for some of its products or the other, right from the US or Canada or the UK or Europe, all the way down to emerging countries, all of them in the Middle East, Asia, India region. A significant base of more than 250 plus customers and deep relationship over decades. Now, eMACH.ai is a fundamental architecture, not just an architecture, it is basically a way in which banking and financial institutions, both from a business perspective and from a technology perspective, can understand the opportunity to leverage technology more efficiently in a very composable and contextual way to enhance their ability to coexist with existing platforms. Because we all know that many of our clients and institutions have been there for several decades. They've seen a lot of digital transformation, new channels, call centers, smartphones, etc. But fundamentally, they also have a lot of different products and technology platforms that we may today call legacy. And some of us who've been there for a long, long time have been involved in creating some of those legacies, if anything, if you look at it from that way, right? And as the world evolves, eMACH is one of the flagship platforms that exist, I think, anywhere in financial services world. E standing for events. We believe that there's a definitive set of events for all different financial services, different customers, whether they are retail or small businesses or large corporates or any segments or personas would use. Those events fundamentally should be delivered through microservices, which is the M. And the A is actually the APIs connecting together those events and microservices together to deliver those definitive outcomes that are required, whether it's the internal users or the external users of the system.
Mhm.
Obviously, this capability and architecture is cloud agnostic. It can sit in different cloud formats or even on prem, depending on where the financial institutions are in their journey. And the H is very interesting and important because it's a headless ability for you to consume some of these capabilities and events and APIs more seamlessly than ever before. Now, .ai, which is something that Intellect AI sort of in many ways fundamentally believed, and it started with maybe insurance and wealth, but it's pretty much across the whole Intellect businesses, whether it's transaction banking or retail banking or wholesale banking. I think we all know that the moment when the internet started, it was a fundamental change, and there was a lot of questions asked about security, data, quality, efficiency, etc. And how will the internet be used? And if we look back over the last decades of digital transformation, none of us can do without the internet, whether we access it through the smartphone or we access it through any other method. AI has been there for a long time, and people have gone down the pathways all the way from simple rules-based type of stuff, to machine learning models and deep learning models. And then comes that specific inflection point with the large learning models, the LLMs, that has given you the ability to access knowledge and therefore derive intelligence by creating a knowledge capability, and we sort of believe we really call that the enterprise knowledge garden, because the old data lakes, the old data warehouses that took multiple datas from various systems together didn't fully capture the ability to tap the LLMs and the vector databases that we today require to be ready for AI deployment. Now, many people are trying different things. We all know that, as a result of chat GPTs of the world, lots of people started doing pilots, and there was a lot of sort of almost a fear of missing out type of approach for AI. And people are doing various pilots. Not a lot of them are making it to production because we believe you need to govern AI fundamentally, and you therefore have to create the right knowledge base
Sure.
to do that. And that also, by the way, it doesn't just come from market data and transactional data, but it also comes from document data. For all
Hmm.
of us who've been in operations know that document data is not fully captured in the transaction data models. Very few fields are. Most
Yeah,
of them.
Banesh, love to keep on this conversation going on because not too many people are really aware of what AI can do or do, and it's more of a buzzword nowadays.
Yeah,
But I come from the traditional approach, and I come back to your legendary systems, where at least during my banking days and during our team's banking days, there were two core functionaries in wealth management. One was the relationship manager,
yeah,
and one was the consumer. It is
correct.
at the end of the day, it's still a people business.
That's
So
correct.
my next two questions are going to be around these two people because
Yeah,
their life is being affected by AI or by Chat GPT and the other digital cognitive,
yeah.
artificial intelligence kind of tools. So my next question to you, Banesh, is thanks a lot for that changes that we are experiencing. My next question is, but the relationship managers play a critical role in wealth management by fostering deep client relationships while navigating the complexities of investment advisory.
Yeah.
How does Wealthforce.ai help them cut through the noise and deliver hyper personalized, data driven advice?
No, it's a fantastic question, and I agree with you 100%. The wealth business, the relationship manager is a vital part of the wealth business, particularly focused on high net worth, ultra high net worth, and private bank customers. So, the ability for us to make the financial advisor more successful, and as I mentioned earlier, there's a shortage of financial advisors for the extent of wealth that is growing in the markets. For certified people to do this is an issue. And
Sure.
like you very rightly said, it's an emotive business. And because it's an emotive business, it requires that engagement of trust between the client and the financial advisor. Now, Wealthforce.ai has sort of recognized the need for that financial advisor focus, because regardless of what legacy platforms you have in the backend, if you can create a financial advisor platform, which is what we have done, it actually helps the financial advisor in a couple different ways. One, it helps them get a full 360-degree view of the customer's wealth and assets. And
Mhm.
this is not just those wealth and assets which sit with the institution which is using WealthForce. You can also bring data from multiple other sources using some of our AI capabilities and the NLP capabilities to extract information to actually have the full wallet of the customer. And in some countries, you may even have open banking to help you do that.
Sure.
Once you have the full wallet of the customer, then you can have a more holistic, risk based, goal based, performance based discussion, which we then
Mm.
help through wealthforce.ai for the financial advisor to do with their customers. The second big friction point in many places is the operational one, which is booking you know new different kind of asset class products, whether it's bonds, equities, mutual funds, whatever, or redeeming and managing the whole account of the operational side of the business. But operations without compliance can cause a lot of friction points. So there's a lot of integration between operations activities risk and compliance activities to manage that relationship securely and properly.
Mm.
The third important point here is when all of this needs to come together, it's also providing good, sensible, analytical information through a combination of reports and analysis to help the client know where they stand with their objectives, know the challenges that markets bring, and how they can actually explain to the customer some of
Hmm.
the challenges and opportunities that are there in their wealth portfolio. Now, the most important thing here is we have to embed AI into this. So, on one hand, you love your relationship manager, and on the other hand, you say, you didn't tell me this, you forgot, I told you this, or you're not giving me the whole picture. And that's because traditionally a relationship manager will go with a statement of account and have a dialogue that they think is appropriate. But if you bring in intelligence into that conversation, into that inputs to help the financial advisor become, let me say, smarter or wiser, or augment his intelligence, that's where the AI component of Wealthforce.ai helps you have a
Yeah.
more meaningful discussion.
And while you were giving me these explanations, I was constantly thinking, maybe as a customer as well, that if all this data and everything else is available on the click of a button using Wealthforce.ai kind of platforms, then why not do it myself? So, my next question is, with the rise of do it yourself investing from a consumer's perspective, customers increasingly expect greater control and digital first experiences.
Yeah.
So, how does Wealthforce.ai, and I know it's a big topic, but we'll have to, because otherwise our producers will switch us off. So, we just have to be sharper on that one. So, how does Wealthforce.ai empower wealth management firms to offer high touch advisory and seamless self service capabilities? Some sort of use cases, if Banesh could share with us.
Yeah, so I think that's a very interesting point. We are seeing a lot of financial institutions, mainly banks, because all the wealth managers and all are dealing with high net worth and private bank, and they need financial advisors. But banks have a big segment of mass affluent customer
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
which DIY or robo advisory, and people call it different things. But the reality is a self service capability to create the right goals for the mass affluent. The goals could be larger goals as to how they want to deal with their investments to tackle their mortgage requirements, or something as small as saying I need to create goals to go on a
Mm.
holiday with the whole family. Or so there could be multiple goals, whether it's education goal. The ability to create goals, to have the right products and the right basket based on their risk level and their portfolio, to be able to create the goals, rebalance the goals, see the performance of the goals, and to actually experience a full view of their wealth and their goals in a single place. WealthForce therefore has what we call a customer app, which is a both portal and mobile, which actually helps you capture the full multiple goals and total wealth in a single sort of set of screens and capabilities built on the mobile. It's a very powerful headless, going back to eMACH headless architecture, to pull that view to help you manage end to end on your own your wealth. These are normally customers who don't need advisory. So this is actually the robo advice, the in AI type of advisor, providing you the right basket for your goals and helping you balance them and manage them, because nobody obviously can predict the future. So you've got to keep rebalancing some of your goals, performances, etc. on through one capability. But think of the massive mass affluence customers
Mm.
that are not tapped. And we are seeing in many countries people doing SIPs and all that. But the ability to connect those SIPs to goals and make them help them manage it. SIP is the final decision process. But first you create the goal, and then you decide I want these type
Good.
of mutual funds, and then you create the SIP. All that seamlessly done on the mobile is where the power is.
No, so really very, very exciting. And you're right, it may not be about HNIs and ultra HNIs only. There is a large segment, which is what you call the mass affluent segment, which banks have been tapping for decades. And now I believe, at least in India, that we're now seeing even the private banking firms coming down towards the HNI segment, moving not out of, but like they say, catch them young.
Yeah.
because India is going, and a lot of my friends as well are running robo advisory firms.
Mm.
I'm sure that they are connecting with the likes of your firm.
Yeah.
So my last question, therefore, Banesh, for you is: AI-driven automation
Mhm.
is transforming all the industries, including the wealth management industry.
Yeah.
How is Intellect.ai leveraging agentic.ai to help firms automate processes and enhance decision making capabilities? I've used some very heavy words. I hope I use them right.
All good ones. And I talked a little bit about the knowledge garden and the need to get the data right, right? Now, the biggest opportunity coming is the agentic AI, where you would actually have agents augmenting humans in
Hmm.
the operations areas. And these operational areas are not just back office operations, they could be any operational areas in a wealth management business that helps you ensure that you can be more productive, you can be more efficient, you could be less, you know, less emotional about your perception on things, but use data more efficiently.
Hmm.
This would be inputs for different personas in the wealth management industry. As an example, by the way, agentic AI will impact every part of a bank. It's a question of when and how and to what extent, right?
True.
There are agentic this is, we believe this is the digital workforce. The digital workforce complements the human workforce, and just like the human workforce with experience takes decisions which are smarter than somebody starting off, the agents also take different decisions, and the more complicated decisions require greater amount of human intervention today. But over a period of time, that equation of what type of activity is done more by agentic and what is done through a combination of the digital workforce and the human workforce coming together is a powerful evolution that we are beginning to see. The thinking mind for this is the large language models, which are becoming cheaper and better and more efficient, as we know. And the important part about our platform, Purple Fabric, is it gives you the chance to govern this whole flow of data through to the knowledge garden, through to creating digital workforce for different use cases, not limited to wealth, but we have many of wealth up and ready, running with some of the largest wealth managers around the world already. And I think the idea here is that you supplement AI intelligence or augment the human sort of intelligence through this digital workforce. And by the way, this is multi agents, so there are agents working with each other to achieve an objective. For example, in our complaint management platform that we've implemented in the UK, by the way, you know, complaints are there in every financial institution on all types. This one is a rather large issue with, regulatory complaints coming
True.
through. The data coming from emails through PDF attachments, Word, etc., extracted using AI, a knowledge base or a knowledge garden is created. Then there are multiple agents working together, logging into several systems, all the way down to CRM systems, core systems, investigation systems, even regulatory systems externally, doing what a human would log in and do, the digital workforce is logging in and doing, and doing different elements of many of these agents getting together to finally create even the letter response to the customer. But that doesn't mean it needs to be autonomous. The time
Hmm.
it takes, it used to take weeks to do a complaint, is coming down to minutes, and it's working 24 by 7. So every time an email comes, it's processed and kept it ready for a human to then augment it by looking at it, validating some of it, and sending it back out. So I think the power of that flow will apply to every single use case end to end operationally to enhance the quality of the human productivity. So that's where Purple Fabric as an AI platform brings together and orchestrates this whole thing. But most importantly, it needs to be governed. By the way, one important thing is humans do an audit trail. The AI agent also does an audit trail. Okay, so we have a trail that tomorrow, whether it's internal operations, internal auditors, external auditors, or even regulators, they know why an AI agent gave this input to a human and what decisions you took. And that piece is very strongly connected back with the ability to ensure the AI is doing ethical solutions, whether it's not hallucinating on data, or there's less toxicity, but different use cases require different elements. So our Purple Fabric platforms helps you govern various elements of this whole suite, and it's a discussion we've been having with multiple customers.
I'm sure, Banesh, this is extremely interesting, and therefore, I'm sorry to the production team. I'm going to have a follow-up clarificatory question right away. So, when this agentic.ai, because I was thinking about this, that is it an enterprise solution or is it an individual subscription-based solution?
No, that's a good question. And the agentics, so Purple Fabric, okay, has different operating models depending on what you're doing. A lot of the knowledge garden and the data creation can be used for Gen AI questions that different people would ask of that knowledge garden to get different responses. Okay. Agentic is creating agents for use cases where there's outcomes. So to answer your question, we have use case pricing. Okay. We have infrastructure type of pricing on depending on how many core systems you use. We have subscription based pricing. So we are pretty open depending on what the client wants. We have 2 or 3 variants to pricing. And the idea is we are at that stage of evolution in AI where financial institutions are still, some are asking for use cases, some are actually experiencing ready-made use cases that we already have, and some want to build their use cases. So our platform actually gives them the training. We have a Purple Fabric Academy approach where we train people to create their own use cases and their own agents, because after all, they are connecting it to their data in their environment or their tenant on the cloud to be able to operate it seamlessly to improve their productivity. So I think the model to your question on subscription or platform, there are variants that we do commercially that make sense for the customer as they evolve in this AI journey that they have.
Lovely. Many more questions, but I won't, Banesh. Thank you very much for sharing these deep insights and expertise. It's been a very enlightening discussion, and I have 3, 4 more use cases that I can only think in my mind, but I'll connect with your team in.
By the way, I just wanted to say, Alok, that you or your teams or your clients, okay, can always reach out through your folks or directly.
Yeah, yeah.
We can work with your folks to actually help them build their own use cases. We can
Yeah,
actually
and
have a
that's
concept of.
really where, yeah, that's really where, sorry, Banesh, to interrupt. That's really where FinGig.Pro will really want to partner along with Intellect going forward. I mean, we have certain clients who would love to benefit from this, especially the agentic.ai.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from an insurance background, and insurance is all about agents and agents and agents.
Yeah.
And I used to run a venture within the within the insurance company to teach wealth management to insurance agents.
No, this is a fantastic space, and we don't have the time. But we started all this with the insurance business in the US.
Yeah.
We've got 20 plus customers running on a cloud that uses a lot of Purple Fabric, and that is going to further develop into agentic space. We are mainly in the underwriting ecosystem in North America for commercial insurance, but there's a lot of opportunities in the bank assurance side
No,
that.
so I will connect with your India team, and I will find a way to connect. I know a lot of your colleagues who are in the other part of the businesses, which are, I think, I mean, I don't know. I won't take their names right now, but I'll connect with them to find out more about it, because a lot of my clients and my ex colleagues would love to benefit from this particular ecosystem as well as a particular platform. With that, I am really delighted to have a very engaging conversation, Banesh. I hope our listeners also will be enjoying this episode as we roll out bits and pieces of it from the production team. So to our listeners, hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we have enjoyed. At least I've enjoyed getting it to you. Stay tuned for more engaging conversations as we continue our expert solution series. We also, as always, welcome feedback from our listeners on how we can keep on improving. Banesh, once again, thank you, and I will connect soon and we'll take this discussion forward. I'm sure our audience also has gained valued knowledge. At least I have. Until next time, thank you for tuning in and see you all soon.
Thank you, Alok. Enjoyed it.